Good Monday morning. It's Josh Simons, psychic medium, coming to you this Monday morning with your weekly message. This is something that I've recently started to do because I am really feeling called. Like, I should bring more of what I do to the people that are on my social medias, if you will. So it's my intention every Monday morning to bring a message of clarity and guidance to the folks that would be kind enough to listen. Before I pull any sort of runes or tarot cards or lend any sort of guidance, I just want to talk about this stuff on my nose. Like, I have no idea where it comes from. Just woke up this morning with it. So a message, if we want to talk about a message around this stuff, it's just roll with the goddamn punches, right? And if this year has taught us anything, it's to roll with the punches. Sometimes stuff happens to us, we don't know why, and it just comes out of nowhere, and we deal with it, right? Like, a little part of me was like, should I do a video with stuff on my nose? And I'm like, screw it. Anybody that's going to listen to these messages, anybody that's going to care about what I have to share, they're not going to care about the spots on my nose. So I hope that includes you. Today is the winter solstice. This morning at 5:02 a.m. Eastern Time, we reached the tipping point. And if anybody's familiar with what the winter solstice is, essentially last night was the longest night of the year. And now we incrementally start to gain a little bit of daylight. And we have these 2 points within the year. We have the winter solstice, we have the summer solstice. The winter solstice being the longest night, shortest day. Summer solstice being the longest day and the shortest night. And it's those cycles that roll with us no matter where we're at, no matter what we do, no matter how our life is progressing. We always have the winter solstice, the summer solstice, right? So we honor that. We honor the sun. We honor the energy that it brings to us. We honor, in many ways, the rebirth of the sun. And that's what today is kind of all about. So what I want to do is I want to just jump right into this. Last week I pulled a rune, and I may do that again. But I want to talk about this week and rolling with the punches, right? The things that come out of nowhere and we don't know what to do with, and we don't know why they happen, and yet we have no choice but to face them head on. So I am going to pull some tarot cards. If those of you who aren't familiar with tarot, it's a form of divination from the Middle Ages. As far as I know, it comes from Italy. It used to be a deck of playing cards, but there's 78 cards in the deck of tarot. And I've studied it for some time. And when it comes to tarot, all I'm going to do is shuffle the deck 3 times and spread them out in front of me. And today's not 1 card, today's 3 cards. And again, I just listen to the messages as I get them. So 3 tarot cards for us as a collective, as a group of individuals, for anybody that might need to hear these messages. All right. So just spread them out in front of me and pull 3 cards. And then it's story time, because tarot is a wonderful tool to tell stories and to gain insight. And there's a lot of people that believe that there are actual spirits behind tarot or runes or any other form of divination. There are other people that believe they're just archetypes and they're tools that help us look at a situation a little bit differently. So my intention with this was to ask the information and the wisdom that I could share with you to help us get through this week, right? So the first card. First card is the 8 of Wands. Now, the 8 of Wands talks about movement, talks about things coming from above, talks about communication. It's a swift movement, and because of the direction, how these wands seem to be coming from above, it seems like we're going to be dealing with information coming from above. And this could very well be news, it could be spirit, it could be insights that come to us individually. But it also talks about movement, its quickness. I don't know about you, but man, like November and December felt like they went by in the blink of an eye. And I know that when things get busy for us and there's a lot of turmoil and stress and a lot of activity, time seems to go by fast. And this is just the theory of relativity. Einstein said that, relativity is like this. If you're sitting on a wood stove, a going wood stove for a minute, it's going to feel like an hour, right? But if you're spending an hour with the girl or the woman or the partner that you love, it's going to feel like a minute. And that's the theory of relativity. Anybody that's been busy at work and who appreciates busy times at work understands that, when I work, I just want to be busy. I want to be consumed by that activity. So it goes by really quickly, right? If we're bored or still, it's going to feel like it just drags, right? And that's relativity. So interesting that this card would represent that. And today being the 21st, this week is Christmas, this week's holidays, it's going to feel like it goes by in a blink of an eye. And as we get older, I always use Christmas as an example with this. As we get older, as we get into our 30s and 40s, what have you, time seems to speed up very, very quickly. And the time, I'm not sure if it actually speeds up or our perception of time speeds up, but there's a reason for this. And one of these reasons is a lack of milestones, right? To slow down time, we create memories. So think about it when you're a child. You have all of these milestones and everything seems very significant because it's new to you. As soon as you hit 21 and you hit, legal drinking age, there's no more milestones. Maybe marriages, maybe graduations are off in the distance and you have those to look forward to. But I think everybody will agree that the more memories you create, the slower time goes. I would have you do your best to create memories this week. Weirdly, we are in the time of COVID, and a lot of us won't be spending time with our families. It's a sacrifice that we're all going to have to make to keep everybody safe. If COVID had to happen, at least it happened in the age of the internet. At least it happened in the age where we had devices like this, where we can video chat with one another, where we can set up Zoom meetings. It's those types of memories, right? Those getting together, whether it's physically or digitally, that helps to slow down time. I would have you, if you can in any way this week, do your best to create a new memory. Do your best to create a new tradition. See how you can slow down time. The second card, it's the Queen of Pentacles. So the pentacles in tarot are very much earth, right? Each of the suits, pentacles, swords, wands, cups, they represent different elements. And the pentacles are like coins. They represent earth or money concerns, right? This card here represents my mother to me, because my mom is that woman who sacrificed herself for the betterment of her family. There's two types of moms in this world, and I know that pretty much we all know both of these types. There's the types of moms who put the needs of their children and their family ahead of their own, and then there's the moms who put their own needs in front of the needs of their family and children. My mom was certainly one of those women who put the needs of her kids, the needs of her family in front of her own. Most of the memories that I have of my mom as a child is her working and working and working and working. Sometimes two jobs. Eventually, her and my father started their own business. Even while my mom was working, she would do the books and the paperwork and stuff for the business. This represents that earthly woman who cares for the earthly concerns of those around her. That's what this card represents to me, right? If you have a Queen of Pentacles in your life, or perhaps even if you are a Queen of Pentacles, honor yourself. Honor those queens in your life. The next card, the Six of Wands. Now, this is triumph and celebration, right? This person's riding on the horse. They're very triumphant. They're celebrating, but they're also holding up a wreath. Now, I found that a curious symbol, because wreaths were, to the Romans, a sign of victory, triumph, right? So this person has either just come back from a battle or a mission or something. They're being welcomed in by the people around them, and they're carrying that wreath as a sign of triumph. Now, in our modern age, those wreaths have turned into signs of Christmas, right? Most folks have wreaths hanging from their doors. The evergreens this time of year, most of us have Christmas trees or wreaths. The evergreens to the ancients represented everlasting life. You have evergreen trees, you have deciduous trees, you have trees that lose their leaves, you have trees that don't. For the ancients, they had ivy, they had mistletoe, they had holly, but they also had pine, balsam, fir, cedar. Those types of trees were celebrated, brought into the home to not only ward off nefarious or bad spirits, but to celebrate the life everlasting, that life will continue. And they saw that those evergreens were magical, if you will, because they didn't lose life, right? All the other trees and everything seemed to fade away and lose their leaves and go dormant. Those evergreens, they stayed with us. This week, a lot of us will be celebrating holidays. A lot of us will be celebrating holidays away from their families. I had a grandmother, my mom's mom, who was truly a Queen of Pentacles. If my mom learned it from anybody else, she learned it from her mother. My grandma's no longer with us. And if she was, in this time of COVID, and I couldn't visit her, I will tell you that would absolutely break my heart. It'd break my heart. We are making sacrifices, hopefully making sacrifices for the better good. We are in a very strange time. 2020 has been, I dare to say, the strangest year for all of us. We've all seen things that we've never seen before. We've all had to make sacrifices that we've never made before. It seems collectively that the rug was yanked out from underneath all of us. For all of that, do what you can to get in contact with those people, even if it's a phone call. Even if it's a phone call. This grandmother of mine, being one of the toughest, strongest, most powerful women that I've had the pleasure and honor of knowing, we used to talk on the phone a lot. And being that I had a smartphone, I would have a call recording app on it. You know, if I were to do sessions with people over the phone, I'd have the ability to record those sessions and send them on as a digital file. Before my grand passed, I don't know why I did this, I just recorded a lot of her phone calls. I recorded a lot of the conversations that we had. I just saved the recordings just for the hell of it. And I'll tell you what, it's been almost 2 years since she's been gone. Almost 3 years since she's been gone. And I still cannot bring myself to listen to those recordings. As much as I deal with death, as much as I deal with spirit, having those recordings sitting there and hearing my grandmother speak again, that's incredible. It's powerful. And When we lose people like that in our lives, there's no better perspective shift than a loss like that for us to really focus on what's important. In the holiday season, we really have a chance now to focus on what's important to us. And we have to make concessions, we have to make compromises, we have to be creative, and we have to come up with ways to create those new memories, and we have to come up with ways to honor those that are no longer with us, but also honor those that are with us that we can't see. And that's going to be tough for a lot of people this week. It's going to be tough for a lot of people who usually travel, who can't. I encourage you to use technology as much as you can. Facebook Messenger, video chat, Zoom, Skype, any of that, even a plain old phone call. And if you do make that phone call from your smartphone, consider putting a call recording app on it and recording the voice of those that you love for posterity's sake. So at some point in the future, you can listen to their voice again. So as broken and as messed up as this modern world is, we have these blessings of technology that will help us get through these things. And we have these blessings of technology that will help us preserve these voices, these faces, the essences of the people that may one day leave us. Honor your family, honor those memories, create the new memories. And no matter how you celebrate this midwinter season, whether it's Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas or Yule or what have you, this is really a time to take stock of what's important in our life, to appreciate what's important, to cultivate what's important, to take stock of what doesn't work, and to do our best to move that out of our life. That's your message for this Monday. I hope that it serves you well, and I hope that no matter what, this week brings you joy and brings you peace and it brings you love. To me, those are truly the things in this world that are very important, perhaps even the most important. Those are the things, when we're on our deathbed, those are the things that we count, not the amount of gold coins that we have stacked up in a bank vault somewhere. Enjoy each other as safely as you can. Preserve those memories, create new memories. And no matter what, enjoy this holiday.